The first trailer for Denis Villeneuve's Dune Part 2 has been released online, and it gives us some really exciting footage from the next film in the saga. The trailer focuses on the iconic moment where Paul Atreides learns to ride a sandworm, and it gives us some more stunning imagery and character reveals from the film. In this video, I'm going to be giving you my reaction and breakdown for the Dune Part 2 trailer, discussing why it looks like a brilliant new entry in Villeneuve's Dune universe. The trailer will be linked in the description of this video if you haven't seen it already. Before I get into my breakdown of the trailer though, if you want to keep up to date on any of my content surrounding Dune Part 2 and beyond, then don't forget to support this upload by giving it a like rating, subscribing to the channel, and turning on your notifications. But without further ado, let's dive into the first trailer for Dune Part 2. So the trailer for Dune Part 2 gives us a great tease of some of the big moments from the upcoming film, and it puts an extra highlight on some of the new faces coming to Villeneuve's science fiction saga. The trailer opens with Chani and Paul sitting at the edge of the desert, with Paul taking in the breathtaking landscapes and talking to her about the potential for unlimited water. He talks about swimming and she doesn't believe him because they are, of course, of two different worlds. We know that Zendaya has a much larger role in the second part, and if you've read the book, you'll know that this is fully justified as Paul begins to learn the ways of the desert and build his romantic interest towards her. We really get a good sense just from these opening images of their growing connection and the vast vistas that Villeneuve is going to display on screen in an aim to up the scale and filmmaking spectacle while also giving us that well-deserved payoff. After this opening, we then start to really dive into some more dialogue and looks at the new characters as well. One of those is Florence Pugh's Princess Irulan, who talks about the coming war, saying, "In the shadows of Arrakis lies many secrets, but the darkness of them all may remain." Of course, this can be decrypted as an early indication towards the rising Fremen forces and their eventual leader Paul, who are the remaining threat that the Harkonnens aren't expecting to return. I really love the costume work that's on display with the multiple shots we get of Pugh's character, especially the one where she's wearing a beaded veil, and it really promises a sense of the royalty from both the princess and the Emperor's side. We don't see the Emperor in this first footage, but I'm sure we'll get a look at Christopher Walken's character down the line, and it's still great to just get this initial look at the princess in the second part. But while the princess talks about the darkness that remains, on screen we get an introduction from Rebecca Ferguson's Lady Jessica, who is now covered in tattoos like in Paul's vision from part 1, and is seen riding across the desert with the Fremen people in a new speeder. From what I can tell, this is after the famous Water of Life scene from the novel, where her and Paul undergo a ritual to transcend within the Fremen camp. We know that she eventually gives birth to the superpowered Aaliyah Atreides soon after, and while we don't see Paul's sister in any of the early footage or marketing, we know that her character, like the Emperor's, is definitely on the way too. During that voiceover, we further see the Atreides empire being burnt, with pictures of Duke Leto set alight, Lady Jessica saying that her father didn't believe in revenge, and then Princess Irulan asking, "What if Paul Atreides is still alive?" There's then more shots of returning members from part 1 like Josh Brolin's Gurney Halleck, who looks armoured up with longer hair, making his comeback after the brutal loss that he and his Atreides men faced in that first movie. He's about to step into battle, and I would presume that this is all building up to that eventual fight with Dave Bautista's Raban, something a lot of us fans are really anticipating. Speaking of Raban, he's also seen in one shot bowing to the Baron in black and white. There's a look at Leia Sedu's secret agent Margot Fenring, and then what I think is part 2's vision sequences, which almost look like the orange-hued shots from Blade Runner 2049. The montage ends with a brief look at the Water of Life scene, and it does give us one image of Lady Jessica's blue eyes after that ritual takes place. And this brings me to probably the two main things on show in this first official trailer. In particular, we get a highlight of one of the big moments that defines Paul's journey, and what I think is a collection of flashbacks and present footage surrounding Austin Butler's Feyd Rautha. Starting with Paul's Sandworm experience, there's a moment with Javier Bardem Stilgar talking to him about riding one himself. He says, "Don't try to impress anyone, be simple but direct, and nothing fancy." Paul places his Fumpter in the sand, then runs along the dunes. The Fremen watch on in anticipation to see if their prophecy comes true, and then we cut to quick shots of Paul grappling the side of the worm and hooking his way up to the top. He gets swallowed up by all the sand, and just like the pages in the book, he eventually rises to the top and uses his maker hooks to control the worm. I must say, it looks absolutely stunning, even just on YouTube, and you can tell that they filmed Timothée Chalamet on a practical part of the worm, which is what he also detailed at CinemaCon a few days ago. Both the Water of Life and Sandworm sequences are massive moments in this story, and they really depict the full transformation of Paul Atreides into the Muad'Dib that was prophesized from the beginning. In my opinion, the brief looks of these big moments really do a great job of showcasing the grandeur and also some of the struggle that Paul will face during his transformation, and having practical filmmaking guide that is just wonderful to see. It really helps you believe in what you're watching on screen and brings that added sense of authenticity that Villeneuve's first film also had. The trailer does come to an end though, with a few other pivotal shots of Paul, including one of him on top of a canyon to cheering Fremen people below. There's another of him telling his mum that what they gave the Fremen people was not hope, which is of course teasing the big moral of this story. And then finally, a great one of him preparing for that very climactic crysknife battle with Austin Butler's Feyd Rautha. Speaking of Feyd, he is seen a few times during this footage, and everything we get looks quite terrifying. As revealed the other day, we see the striking bold look that he will be sporting in the movie, and we see him in an additional moment which shows us the fighting pits. Just like the shot with the Baron and Raban from before, this is in black and white too, and I'm guessing that this is all of those moments from earlier on in the book that part 1 didn't cover, as a somewhat flashback to fill us in on both the evolving narrative surrounding Feyd and the Harkonnens. So now that I've talked about what was on show, what did I think of the first official trailer for Dune Part 2? Well, I thought all of this footage was pretty damn spectacular, and through the wide shots, the use of Hans Zimmer's score from the original movie, and the sheer scale on display in the footage we got, it really connects to that quote from Denis about Part 2, in that this installment is going to be an epic war film opposed to what we had before. The images and action on screen appear to be guiding the story, and if you've read the book, you'll know that that's probably the best angle to take regarding everything that happens. Whether it be the Water of Life sequence, the rise of Paul and the Fedaykin, or the introduction of complex new characters like Alia and Feyd Rautha. Now, as said before, we haven't seen all the characters on show, like Alia or the Emperor, but it seems like Denis and his team have already nailed the looks of the characters we do get, and it's really conveying that large-scale sensibility through all the different factions at play. It reminds me of Return of the King and all the things that movie had to deliver on the big screen, giving us the payoff for the journey that started in Part 1. I particularly loved the look we got at Feyd in the fighting pits with black and white footage, and then of course the tease of his crysknife battle with Paul Atreides, and I also think the grand shots in the desert with Paul and the Fremen really seem to be setting up that larger sense sense of fury that the film's tagline states. To me, it seems like the filmmaker has done a great job of transitioning from the landscape of part 1 to part 2, with there of course being a time jump set to take place sometime in the early acts of the film, and having images of the Atreides Empire being burnt and then moving to the rise of Paul and his ascension of the worm really gives us a greater sense of what's to come. But overall, I have nothing really negative to say about this trailer, and I think it really does a great job of building the hype for everything we're looking forward to. Visually, it looks like a collection of all of Villeneuve's previous work, and I feel like this could be an excellent culmination of everything he has done so well when it comes to his science fiction epics. It looks incredible so far, and I'm excited to see what the rest of the marketing campaign gives us in the months that lead up to Dune Part 2's release. But that was my video discussing my thoughts and breaking down the new official trailer for Dune Part 2. I will be doing much more videos during the build up to Part 2, including any new footage, images, or updates from Denis Villeneuve's latest film. But if you've already seen the trailer for Dune Part 2, let me know down below in the comment section what you thought of the first footage, alongside whether it gets you even more excited for what's in store. For much more videos and news on Denis Villeneuve's Dune universe, then subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Also, if you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like rating and follow me on social media via the links in the description. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I've been Cortex, and as always, make some noise.